Hello and welcome in. Welcome to Pajama Chat. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about some more areas inside Mondstadt. Today we're going to be looking at this area called Wolvendom. So you enter it from the water, or you can come from Springvale on the east side. It doesn't really matter, but we're going to be going towards this gigantic white circle. The first interesting thing here to note is that there is a Shrine of the Depths here. Shrine of the Depths are really old architecturally looking buildings that have this glowing barrier that you cannot enter. Each barrier, has a color, and that matches to whatever nation you are in. So Mondstadt's, it was a light bluish green color, almost kind of a white shade. Definitely a green color, not white. Natlands, it's a red color. Sumeru, it's green. Things like that. Inazuma, it's purple. So you do specific things where you get a currency, and that gets you access to a key, a Shrine of the Depths key. Each Shrine of the Depths key is color-coded, so you know which one it goes to. For example, the Inazuma Shrine of the Depths keys are purple, so you can just go and find them. I use them as navigation points. That's why there's a little star on my map marking where it is. That's what that's for. However, we're going to go over and explore a little bit around Wolvendom before we get to the large circle. So in the main story, there's a section where they're talking about wolves are attacking Springvale. And Razor and the Boreas, I think is the name of the dog, the gigantic dog, are adamant that it's not local wolves. And in 1.0, these dogs right here, these lovely abyss hounds, well, these are pups actually, they did not exist. They were not part of the in-game data. So we did not know like what wolves they were talking about, wolves that were not native to Mondstadt that were attacking humans. But whenever they added these dogs in Inazuma, which would have been like late 2.0, I believe, that's whenever we got these dogs suddenly appeared here. And that's just... Now we have context for the wolves that are not native to the area. Oh, there's 3 of them that are not native to the area are suddenly here. So like that's a little interesting tidbit of they didn't retcon it, right? It's part of the story. Are you guys gonna follow me all the way here? Oh, you are. Okay.
Silence.
Well, I didn't want to kill you, but since you're following me, you gonna follow too? Okay. Go away. Okay. Might as well pick up their stuff. So the next thing I wanted to show is this gigantic tree piece. So the nation of Mondstadt is not known for having gigantic trees within it. It's not a nation of trees, right? Sumeru is a nation of trees, but here's this like gigantic tree. And like, is it a tree piece that used to go upways, or is it a root? We aren't entirely sure because like it could have been a tree that fell over, but then it has all these like root structures attached to it. So it could be one of the pieces of the world tree. So we know, spoilers for Sumeru. 3, 2, 1. We know from Sumeru's storytelling that the world tree Irminsul grows upside down. So where we are standing is on the root structure of Irminsul. The trunk goes down, straight down beneath us, and then all of the boughs are stretched out down there. So we are actually all on the root structure of Irminsul, which is, interesting. So this could be a gigantic root structure from Irminsul. We aren't entirely sure. And then this section right here, so back in Mondstadt's ancient past, there used to be 4 gods that guarded Mondstadt, and the wolf is the last remaining one. So his architecture for where you battle him, he's the only weekly boss that has an arena that does not require a domain door to enter or a domain type space to enter it. So he is a weekly boss, but his arena is flat out in the open, and it looks so cool, so interesting. Like it clearly dates from an older time period. We have these swirls, we have a lot of plant motifs. The dog is affiliated with the elements of ice and wind, so he is a bi-element boss, which is one of the unique things to this area. But yeah, the architecture here is like, it's not quite Conria. It's not quite the Paimon ruins. It's something that's like, it's just unique to this area. It's very, very cool. There's also obviously sparkles floating around me because they want me to summon the boss. So this stone structure, of course, all goes through the center. This area, it's worn away and it's hard to see, but you can see that like this decorative area also is not the same sort of design that we saw with previous bosses. This is something unique to the wolf himself. And then to challenge him, if you wanted to fight him, there is a glowing blue sword that you can pick up to fight him, which is super cool. You do fight him, mandatory, if I remember correctly, part of story to resolve that initial conflict that introduces Razor. So that's cool. That's how you go ahead and fight him. If you have not seen the wolf, I'll go ahead and pull him up here for you quickly in the archive, because I don't want to say that I'm going to fight him and then have like my weekly bosses messed up or anything like that, because they do require some currency. Where is he? Here he is. So this is what he looks like. You can see like here's his face, right? He has 3 tendrils on his back type stuff, which is very cool. They're kind of little hearts. You can see he's got wings at his rib cage. That's how he gets his wind element. But he's also like, he's a god, so his tail is ice. So you can see how he combines between the ice and whatnot elements. He's one of our oldest creatures that we know is not a Vishap. So he is evidence of a bunch of creatures that existed in the ancient past that were not Vishaps, aka dragons, aka the sovereigns. Those are some of the oldest creatures on the planet. So there we go. That's very cool. And then side little tidbit really quickly. If you look at the Abyss Hounds, there's a big doggo boss version of him as well. Where are you? Where are they? I was just showing them to one of my friends the other day. Be down still. Aha, they're there. So here's the pups that we were looking at just a minute ago. So there's the gold eyes and then the gold element and then their gold interior shows that they are aligned to geo element. And then these ones are purple, which shows that they're aligned to electro element. I don't think we've seen any others, because then we have adult geo doggo, and then we have adult electro doggo, and then we have this one, which is very cool to me, because like he doesn't have legs or arms, he's completely serpentine. This is the boss that you fight, but if you look at his design, he has gigantic ears like the Anubis type dog, but a lot of his like skull shape is reminiscent of Boreas, the Wolvendom dog that you fight as well, which is super cool. And then you can see that he has 3 little puppies that are his compatriots in battle, which is interesting to me because he also has these tendrils that come off of him, and then he has these little puppies that join him. Like a lot of the design elements that are in Boreas are also in the Golden Wolf Lord, which is just it's so small and interesting to me. Now, if we go back to the beginning of the area, which is over here, and we make our way towards the arena, you'll be able to see that there's claw marks and stuff. So behind us is the water, so you land here on the ground. There's going to be some hilly trails that you can avoid. Don't worry about it too much. If you are new to the game and you need access to some rocks to harvest, this is a great little spot. You can come. It's right next to a teleport. Come in, harvest some rocks. There's some more on the wall over there. See? But it will have these light blue ones too for you to bang up and get some rocks for your weapon upgrades. So go back over to our road. Also, fun fact, Mondstadt is one of the few nations that has treasure chests inside trees. So some of the trees around here, I think there's 2 of them, have treasure chests up hidden inside of the trees. I think people complained about it because that hasn't been much of a common thing after the 1.0 nations. I think Sumeru had one, 1 or 2. Yeah. So here's some hilly churls hanging out here. Not super important. But as we get closer, what's this in the distance? Claw marks. Gigantic claw marks that have damaged stone. Now, we don't really have lore for like what created these gigantic claw marks, besides the fact that we can assume that it probably was Boreas because this is right on the way to his area. But like, what would cause Boreas to create gigantic claw marks unless he was fighting off like the Golden Wolfhound Lord? Because we know that he was one of the creatures that was here that fought off the some of the creatures during the what's it called? The Cataclysm with Conria. Those are special stones, usually require like resin and stuff in order to craft into things, but they're a fun thing to grab. But like, look, here's another claw mark, and these claw marks lead directly in. And then this area is broken. But look, there's more claw marks on each side. So like, was Boreas, we know that Boreas protects this area, but like what caused Boreas, because the Golden Wolfhound we see does not have claws. And like there's only little puppies left behind. So like what happened? What happened in this area? Super interesting. So yeah, this is Boreas. The other creatures that protected Mondstadt are, if I remember correctly, an eagle. They have domains assigned to them. Like special domains. So like, yeah, Temple of the Lion, eagle, and then this one? Wolf. There were 4 of them. Falcon. So those are the creatures that protected Mondstadt. They were 4 gigantic god beings that protected Mondstadt in the ancient past. And the theory is that they have been kind of reborn into people. So if you look at Diluc, for example, he has an eagle or a falcon that comes down and hangs out with him, and that's also what his icon, his constellation is. So like maybe he's one of the protecting monsters.
Water comes in many flavors to the
things like that.
palate.
Very cool little things like that.
Water is crisp and pure, while water from
So
Liyue has an
I have to remember to turn off the voices. Let me do that right now. So thank you for hanging out for this lovely time. Where's the button? There we go.
Paimon coming in.
There's. So thank you for hanging out to hang out and look at the Wolvendom a little bit. It has interesting architecture all around it. It is not isolated from Conrian architecture, though, I'd like to point out. I'll take a little quick glance over here. And you can see here's some odd stones that look like they're related to maybe not Conrian architecture, but they're something old. There's some sort of old, like perhaps a building or a watchtower or something that was off in this area. So there are some oddball little ruins and things on the way to Wolvendom. Perhaps he lived next to humans, perhaps not. The other interesting thing about Wolvendom before we close out for the day is we have trees that are alive, and then we have a lot of trees that are hanging out and dead. Like, was this a tree? Was this a root? And then we have these trees that are just dead. And these trees you can see on the horizon as like a way to mark where Wolvendom is. And we don't really have an answer for like why these trees don't have any leaves on them. And there's a bunch of them that just encircle most of the area of Wolvendom. And we don't have an answer for that. Why do you think there are a bunch of dead trees around Wolvendom? Because clearly Boreas is still protecting Mondstadt to a degree. He's doing his job. Because he was able to shake off the wolfhounds and stuff. So, like, I don't know. I'm really curious about what your opinion is of this gigantic tree or root that is over here. It doesn't seem to come from anything in the ground, and it doesn't seem to lead to anything either. All right. I will talk at you guys all next time. Bye.